Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego and Hose. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Devil Wears Prada. Okay, we're almost done reviewing this movie, and once I'm done with this movie, then we're going to go into the real threat to democracy. Okay, the real threat that's out there. Okay, and that is And Just Like Crap season 3. Yes, that's coming like real soon. All right, but we ain't there yet. We ain't there yet. I got to finish this one first, okay? So I'm Diego, and I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view here. Okay, so the movie we're reviewing, like I said, is Devil Wears Prada, which I actually found a lot of things that I enjoyed in this movie. But you don't really know what a good movie is until you've seen one. And once you've seen a really good movie, then you can look back on some of the other movies you've seen, and then you'd be like, okay, wait a minute, maybe that movie wasn't as great as I thought, because this movie was great. Like the bar has been raised. So now, even though I like this movie, it's not nearly as good as the movie I just saw. Okay, so maybe my standards are lower, and they've just been elevated because I've just seen an incredible film. Okay, that's actually happened to me recently. Unfortunately, it has not happened with any new movies. I don't think that a new movie has really impressed me since I think the last movie that I really, really enjoyed, okay, that was new at the time, was I think it was Avengers and no Spider-Man. No, was it No Way Home or Far From No Way Home? Yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home. That one impressed me a lot. Okay, was it the best movie I've ever seen? No, but it was damn good. Okay, talk about fan service. And then before that, the movie that really, really impressed me was Avengers Infinity War, not Avengers Endgame. Okay, that was just a plot device. It was very lazy. Okay, and the message was most definitely there. Okay, they had a scene in there with like all during this huge battle during the climax of the movie, all the female superheroes for some reason just happen to be standing right next to each other during that battle, and then they get their own scene, which is just ridiculous. Okay, it took me out of the movie, and then the whole time travel plot device, that was just like, oh my god, come on. You need to introduce time travel into the MCU first before you start, using it. Okay, and they never did that. It just showed up like, boom, here, time travel. Oh, like what the, and then the Hulk didn't even act like the Hulk. I mean, that was just, come on, he acted like a beta male. I mean, come on, you're the damn Hulk for Christ. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So anyway, the point is that very, very, very. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie that really, really impressed the hell out of me. Okay, that was new. Okay, last night, it is the 50th anniversary of Jaws. Okay, yes, 50 years since that movie came out, and I kind of remember when that movie came out. Okay, not really. I was a baby at the time, but I kind of remember, and I remember my grandpa taking me to the re-release when I was like 3 years old. Okay, he took me to go see. Yes, he took me to go see Jaws. Okay, me a 3-year-old. He took me to the theater to go see Jaws, and I kind of remembered it back then. Of course, later on I watched it again, and I got scared at the right times. But it wasn't until I was an adult, a full-grown adult, probably in my 30s, that I watched it and I could really appreciate it for what it was. Okay, how hard they were trying to make this movie good. Okay, and then I just watched it last night for the 50th anniversary party that they had at the Alamo Draft House. I took my son to go see it. He's seen it before, but it's festival. They had giveaways and stuff, and they had an announcer who introduced the movie, that contest, all that. It was fun. It was fun. They invited us to cheer during certain scenes, and stuff like that. So we watched the movie last night, and I'm watching it again. I'm just like, oh my god, this movie is incredible. There are no plot holes. Like, this movie asks a lot of important questions. It's very, and it gives you answers. It's very well written, very well directed. The musical score is second to none. Unbelievable. I mean, you feel that shark through the music. Okay, you feel the characters through the music. The performances were all top notch. Everyone from Richard Dreyfuss to Roy Scheider, okay, to Robert Shaw. I mean, they were incredible. I mean, they really sold what was going on there. Okay, and the story was just so tight. Okay, I mean, the threat is there. You completely understand why the people are scared and panicky. You understand why the corrupt mayor is trying to suppress the media on these shark attacks. You understand why the sheriff, why he capitulates to the pressure from the mayor to not report this. I mean, you see all that. Okay, you understand why the shark hunter Quint is a shark hunter. Okay, and brilliant performances. Okay, there's comedy in there. Okay, there's horror in there. There's suspense in there. Okay, I mean, you really get a feel for these characters, and on top of that, some incredible cinematography. You don't see the damn shark until you have to see it. Okay, so that right there is part of the anticipation that's building throughout the movie. The movie's taking you on a ride, and it left no plot holes at all. Everything gets tied up by the end. Okay, and that is just great filmmaking. I know it's Steven Spielberg's second movie he ever did, but damn it, the guy has talent. I mean, this was just great. I mean, everything, the story, you're invested into it. Okay, you're invested into Chief Brody trying to stop this shark, and then the irony that they go out there to hunt the shark. Okay, and what happens? The shark ends up hunting them. I mean, it's like, whoa. I mean, talk about a turnaround. Okay, talk about going back and forth. It's great. It's just a great movie. Okay, and recently, another movie I saw, I think it was a month ago, I went to go see Ben-Hur. Now, Ben-Hur I had never seen in my entire life. That movie came out in 1959. I never even saw it on TV when I was growing up, but I heard about it. I heard about the chariot race. I know Charlton Heston was in that kind of thing. But then I watched that with my son, and I watched it for the first time. That's a 3-hour movie. Okay, but they re-released it. I went to go see it like 2 months ago, something like that. And oh my God, one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. And that came out in 1958. Okay? I mean, that was I'm not going to get to it here, but that was an incredible movie. Incredible how good it was. I mean, the movie had me in tears. There were scenes in there when I was legitimately crying, okay, at a movie that I had never seen before. Okay? A movie that was, what is it, 66 years old. I mean, damn. Talk about an epic, incredible movie. And that's when you've seen a good movie, okay? And if you've seen a really, really great movie, your level of tolerance gets much higher, okay? Not tolerance, your level of appreciation gets much higher, okay? Unfortunately, Devil Wears Prada does not reach it, but it looked to me in the beginning like it was going to reach it. Now, this movie has all the same tropes that all chick flicks have. Okay, you've got the gay best friend, you got the single woman, in her early 30s, college educated, in the big city, trying to make a name for herself, blah, blah, blah. You've got the hot stud, with the square jaw, who's super professional and, has his wardrobe with the ripped abs and all that kind of stuff, this crap. Okay, you've got the black girl best friend, or you got they don't have the ugly, horny best friend. Well, they do, but he's like a gay guy. Okay, okay. There's plenty of gay guys. There's no straight guys in this movie. I don't care what you think. All right, and and of course they got the gay best friend, Nigel there, whatever. But so it's got all those tropes in there, but it just reminds me of when movies used to, when people took filmmaking seriously. They were really trying to say something here, and I thought this movie was trying to do it too. And they do say something, but they don't give you any answers. They kind of leave it alone. Okay, the third act here, which we're about to get into, is a cop out, completely cop out. Okay, and nothing really gets resolved. Okay, does Andy find herself? Does she change? Is she a different person at the end of the movie than she was when she came in? No, she's not. No, she was a bitch at the beginning of the movie, which is pointed out in Act 1. Okay? She's just working with other bitches. Okay? And by the end of the movie, she's still a fucking bitch. She just switched industries. She went from, fashion to journalism. But she's still a bitch. She still has no remorse. She doesn't give a shit about anybody but herself. Okay? We never even see her resolve her broken relationship with her friends. And then you give me this cop-out thing with her boyfriend about how he's just, oh, okay, it's okay. I think we can still hang out with each other. You come visit me in Boston. I think I'll have your grilled cheese ready. I think we can work something out. I'm just going to pretend that you didn't fuck somebody else. But yeah, we can do it. We'll work it out, because I'm a guy. No, and all guys act this way when we know our girlfriend's been fucking other guys. It's great, no problem. I'll be right there whenever you need me. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And just, and she doesn't even apologize to her other friends. And I mean, she called her friends assholes for some fucking reason. Okay, like why would you talk to your friends that way? And I get it when you're joking around, hey, asshole, come on. No, but when she said it, she meant it. Okay, she meant it. No. Andy's an asshole. Okay, and I don't really give two shits about her. Okay, I started giving a shit about her in the beginning because I kind of felt sorry for the way she was being treated. But once the movie explained to us why she's being treated that way, now all of a sudden my loyalty now, my sympathy now is towards fucking Miranda, believe it or not. Now, Miranda is a well-funded character, a well-formed character. I get her. I don't agree with her. Okay, I kind of feel sorry for her. Actually, I do feel sorry for her because, she's miserable. So she got to make everyone else miserable. Okay, but she did that to herself. Okay, she did that to herself. Okay, and she enjoys making other people miserable because the people that grow out of that misery, okay, that can get through that misery are strong like she is. Okay, so in other words, she's weeding out, she's cutting out the fat so that she can find other people that are like her, that can put up with that crap, okay, and be like her. Okay, because that's really what she's looking for. She's looking for a replacement. Okay, she's looking for someone to replace her, and nobody measures up. Okay, until she meets Andy. Andy has what it takes to be like her. So she gets her there, and then Andy just decides to quit. No, I don't want to work for you anymore. Bitch, you've already sold your soul. Okay, what do you have left? Who's fucking waiting for you now? Okay, you already kicked fucking everyone else out of your life. And if this movie's realistic, okay, it'd be very difficult for them to take you back. So what the fuck you got left? Nothing. You got nothing left. You see what I mean? So you might as well just stay where you are. Okay, because what is Andy going to do? She's just going to go into her fucking new journalism job, working for some bullshit third-rate newspaper, okay? And she's going to become a bitch over there. And she's going to do the exact same thing over there that she did at fucking Runway. She's going to step on other people. She'll probably become friends with someone she works with, learn everything she has to, and then start fucking other people over. The same thing she learned, because she learned that at Runway. She hasn't given that up. Okay, she didn't try to reconcile with her boyfriend. We didn't see her try to reconcile with her friends. Okay, we didn't see anything like that. No sort of retribution. Okay, nothing at all. She doesn't, when her boyfriend tells her that he's leaving, he's going to Boston, I'm getting the fuck out of New York. She doesn't try to stop him. She doesn't try to say, hey, listen, I want to give us another chance. I want to, I fucked up, and I still love you, and I was wrong, okay? And I would like for you to forgive me, okay? And I'd like for us to try again, and I promise I won't treat you this way again. Now, first of all, I know that's bullshit, and that's bullshit, okay? But, since this whole movie is bullshit, why don't, let's see what happens with that. Show me that story with her and Nate. Make him interesting all of a sudden. You see what I mean? Movie don't go there. Man, it's like, it's weird that fucking women and gay guys made this movie, because it's supposed to express women's views on things, feminism and all that way. But me being a straight guy, even I know this. Okay, and let me tell you what I know. Okay, it ain't about how you start, it's how you finish. Even me, a fucking straight guy, a fucking caveman Neanderthal, understands that. But apparently the people that made this movie don't. All right. So let's get back to the movie here, okay? Now, we left off last time, okay, we had that whole incident in Paris. Okay, our characters are still in Paris, okay? Andy broke up with her boyfriend. He broke up with her because she's a fucking cunt, okay? And the first thing she does when she gets to Paris, okay, she jumps on fucking Christian Thompson's dick. Okay, he blows her back out, whatever, blah, blah. Then he tells her the next day that he's actually secretly working with Irv Kravitz, okay, and Jacqueline Bisset, who is the editor-in-chief of Runway Magazine Paris, okay, and together they conspired to kick Miranda out, to get Miranda fired from her position as editor-in-chief at Runway Magazine New York, and they're going to replace her with Jacqueline. And Jacqueline has selected moi, Christian Thompson, to be the new director of editorial, okay, at the Runway Magazine, Okay? Now, obviously, he kept all this information away from Andy and he fucked her anyway, which I guess is kind of realistic. Okay? But Andy's upset. Not upset that she fucking just fucked another guy, the guy that she's been trying to fuck this whole movie behind her boyfriend's back. She's not upset about that at all. Okay? What she is upset about is her loyalty to Miranda. Okay? Now she knows something that Miranda doesn't know. And she's worried about how it's going to affect Miranda, the queen bitch herself. Okay? I mean, Andy will eat shit for her boss, Miranda. Okay? And now she just found out that there's a conspiracy against her boss. And her first instinct is to defend her boss, to protect her boss, to warn her boss. Oh no, what about Miranda? And because of that instinct, she basically tells Christian to fuck off and tells him, I'm not your baby. Well, bitch, you fucking were last night, okay? If my cock is in your fucking mouth and I'm looking at you, okay? If my cock is in your fucking ass and I'm watching you come, yes, bitch, I can call you baby, okay? Because you were my fucking baby, all right? Truth hurts, okay? Well, you, not me. But you know what I mean, all right? Yes, I can call you fucking baby. I will call you fucking baby. I'm gonna tell my friends that I'm gonna call you baby too. Oh, absolutely. Okay? I'm gonna have you on my fucking cell phone. I'm gonna show all my guy friends the shit that you were doing to me last night. Okay? So don't give me none of that shit fucking don't call me baby. Now fuck you. I already fucked you. Okay? Any guy that I see in the future that I know you're dating, I'm gonna show him the fucking pictures, you fucking dumb bitch. Okay? No, fuck you. Fuck you, because I already did. And that's realistic. And ladies, if you don't like that, TS, okay? It's fucking real. It's the same shit you do. Same shit you do. Anyway, moving right along. Okay, so Andy, of course, now she's worried about Miranda getting fired today. Okay, so she runs back to the hotel room to warn Miranda. Okay, she runs to Miranda's hotel room to warn her. Okay, tries to call her, but she tries to call her first. But Miranda says, don't bother me right now, I'm busy with that, and hangs up on her. So now fucking Andy's like, oh shit, I gotta go. You know, the whole movie she's fucking running around the city, you know, weaving through traffic and shit in her high heels, you know, carrying shit on with her fucking phone to her mouth. The whole fucking movie is like that. That's the whole fucking movie. That's like 75% of the movie right there. Okay. Anyways, that's going on here. Okay. She finally gets to Miranda's hotel room, knocks on her door. Okay, interrupts her. She's having a meeting with Irv Kravitz at this moment. So she's interrupting her. Now, Irv Kravitz is the CEO of Elias and Clark Publications. Okay, that is the company that owns Runway Magazine. Okay, and Irv Kravitz is the chairman of the board. He's this old Jewish guy, whatever. We've seen him. Okay, that's, you know, everyone respects him when they run into him in the elevator, that kind of thing. Okay, we know who he is. All right. Okay, he's actually Miranda's boss. All right. And so we see him there having a conversation with Miranda. And so basically Miranda tells Andy to get lost. I'm busy right now. I'm in the middle of something. Blah, blah, blah. And that bothers Andy because Andy knows what the conversation is about. Miranda's getting fired. Okay. So she did try to warn Miranda, but she didn't make it. Okay. So that's going on. Later on, Andy finally does get an opportunity to speak with Miranda. It's at this banquet function that's happening, okay, for James Holt. Now, James Holt is this gay fashion designer. We met him earlier, okay? In fact, Andy met Christian Thompson at this gay fucking party. Yeah, what was Christian Thompson doing at a gay party for a gay fashion designer? Yeah, I know. Talk about plot holes right there. Anyway, so I said nobody was straight in this fucking movie. So anyway, so Andy finally gets a chance to talk to Miranda. Okay, they're at this function here, okay, where some announcements are going to be made, whatever, okay, and she tries to at the exhibition, she tries to warn Miranda about Irv Kravitz's plans to get her fired. Okay, now Miranda cuts her off and complains about something about free G's, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know, I'm not gay, I don't know what that is. Maybe you know what that is. I don't. Okay, free G's. Okay, and then she tosses her mink shawl and her gloves and her bag and fucking, you know, like she's a fucking doorman or something, right? But she's been doing that the whole movie. Okay. Anyway, so we're at the banquet now. Okay, at the banquet, Nigel is sitting next to Andy at the banquet. Now, Nigel, of course, is played by bald Stanley Tucci. He's the fucking Stanford from Sex and the City. Okay, that's basically who he is in this movie. He's Stanford from Sex and the City, only in relation to fucking Andy, okay, not Carrie, okay, but basically he's actually good at his job, okay. He is the art director for Runway Magazine. He answers to Miranda, He's the one that helped out Andy when she started working there. Now, he wasn't necessarily nice to her, but he became nice to her. He's the one that pointed out that she doesn't give a shit about fashion, so why the fuck should anybody give a shit about you? He got her wardrobe changed so she can start dressing like she actually gives a shit about fashion, that kind of stuff, okay? So he really helped her out a lot. Okay, so they're friends now, and recently Nigel just found out that the gay designer James Holt is his designs are going to go worldwide now. He got some investment bankers to back him up, so he's going to become a global designer now. Okay, a hell of a lot more money, and he picked Nigel to be the president of his company, the James Holt Company. So now Nigel's excited. He's going to quit Runway Magazine because he's finally going to be in charge. He's finally going to run his own company. He's finally going to get to visit Paris and actually experience Paris for a change instead of always coming here just for work. You see what I mean? So he's really excited, and James is probably going to fuck him up the ass too. So he's excited about all these things. He even opened some champagne the night earlier before Andy went to go fuck Christian. They shared a glass of champagne to celebrate that Nigel's going to be leaving Runway Magazine, okay, to run his own company. Okay, so all that was going on here. Okay, Nigel, of course, makes a speech about how wonderful Miranda is and blah, 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 eating her pussy out there. Okay, and then he presents Miranda to the crowd. Now, there's a whole crowd of people here in the fashion industry, which means there's a bunch of gay guys and old ladies. Okay, and they're all clapping and celebrating Miranda. She gets up there. Okay, and what Nigel said about Miranda was, he said, Miranda is the best possible guardian of Runway Magazine, setting a standard that inspires people across the globe. But he said it with a gay voice. Okay, now Miranda goes up there and she makes a speech, okay, about how James Holt's fashion line is now going to become a global brand, okay, like a Tommy Hilfiger type thing, okay? Yes, he's going global, all right? So she announces that the new president of the James Holt Company will be, and we all know who it is. Nigel's like, it's going to be me, it's going to be me. And then she says, Jacqueline Bisset. Now, obviously, nobody saw that coming, okay? Now, we know from Christian, okay, after he fucked the shit out of Andy, he told her the next day that Jacqueline is going to be named today as the new president, as the new editor-in-chief of Runway Magazine New York, okay? And Andy herself knew that Nigel was going to be the new president of the James Holt Company, right? Nope, that's not what happened. What Miranda just announced is that Jacqueline Bisset is going to be the new president of the James Holt Company, not Nigel. So clearly Nigel is visibly upset. You can see it on his face, and I feel bad for the guy. Because out of all the characters in this movie, he actually has some integrity. I know he's a flamer and all that stuff, but at least he's not trying to hide it. At least he's open about it. Okay, he actually does give a shit about the magazine. Okay, he considers the Runway Magazine a beacon of light for all gay men everywhere. Okay, but anyway, so at least he takes this seriously. Okay, and from what we've seen in the movie, he is actually very good at his job. Okay, so he's earned his spot there. And obviously he wants to better himself. He wants to get a higher position. He wants more money, more authority. We all do. That's part of capitalism. Okay, and he was promised that would happen, and now it didn't happen. So clearly Miranda had after all that nice shit he said about Miranda had no loyalty to him. Okay, she fucked him in the ass, and not in the way he likes it. Okay, he wanted that job as president, okay, of the James Holt Company. Okay, and now it went to the woman that was going to replace Miranda instead. So in other words, Miranda secured her position at the expense of her loyalty to her friends, to the people that were loyal to her. Okay. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, okay? And that's the dark side of capitalism, which is what this movie's about, okay? So that's going on here, okay? So Jacqueline Paulette is going to be the new president of the James Holt Company, okay? Andy and Nigel, like I said, they're shocked. They did not see this coming. This was not what they were told. Okay, and Jacqueline is sitting next to Christian, so he's at the function too. So after he pounded out Andy, he probably pounded out Jacqueline as well. And now they're sitting together, holding hands at this function, right? Okay, and she stands up and receives all this applause, blah blah blah, whatever. And if you look at Christian's face, he's actually kind of confused because this didn't go along with his plan either. Like I said earlier, Christian told Andy that Jacqueline named him to be the new director of all editorial content for Runway magazine. So he was going to get more money. He was going to get job security because he's a freelance writer. He was going to get all these things. And now that didn't happen. And Jacqueline, who I'm pretty sure he's fucking, didn't tell him. So he's shocked too. Like, what the hell? This screwed up my plans. Okay, yeah. So didn't go the way he wanted it either. You know, it's clearly he didn't know this was going to happen either. Okay, so he gets fucked over too. You know, and of course, like I said, Nigel is clearly heartbroken over this. He tries to hide it. That's just a testament of the great acting that Stanley Tucci does playing Nigel in this movie. But he's trying to hide it. But he is upset. He is upset. Andy picks up on it right away. And then you look at Irv Kravitz. He just looks deadpan, like he doesn't give a shit. Okay, and then you look at Miranda, who's still up there on the podium, and she's just like all smug. Okay, like she had everything to do with this. Okay, she had everything to do with this. Okay, and Andy, of course, is smug. She is smug about something. She's smug that Christian won't be getting that editorial job now. So she looks at Christian's like, so she's happy about it too. Of course she is. He's a man. Not only is he a man, he's a man that fucked her. Okay, and there's one thing we know Andy likes to do is she likes to treat the men that fuck her like shit. Okay, anyway, so that's going on. And I'm not saying Christian's a good guy, but I am saying that Andy's not a good person either. I am saying that. Okay? Nigel tells Andy, that someday Miranda will reward him. He's like, my time will come. Someday Miranda will recognize all the work that I've done for her. It'll come. And then Andy looks at Nigel and goes like, you sure about that? Because it probably won't. Okay? Because nothing is going to stand between Miranda and what Miranda wants. Okay? Not her husband, not her kids, not her employees, not her friends. Okay? Nobody's going to stop Miranda from doing what Miranda wants to do. Okay? That's the person she is. That's the person she turned herself into. That's the person that all her mentors, all her coworkers in the past, all her instructors, okay, all her clients, okay, everything, they all like fed into that. Okay? They all proliferated that. Sorry, okay? They all enabled that because they were that way too. She is a product of her environment. Her environment, it's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a hostile corporate world, okay? Full of wolves. And the only way you're going to stay where you are is you got to be the toughest wolf in your corner to keep all the other wolves away from you. So naturally, that's the kind of person Miranda is. That's what she's grooming Andy to be. And that's what everyone else that's around her is like, okay? That's what fucking Christian is like. That's what Jacqueline Paulette is like. That's what Irv Kravitz is like. That's what fucking Emily is like. Okay, they're all that way. There's no difference here. They're all a bunch of wolves. Like my friend American Zombie says, even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, the next scene we have, we're in the limo now. Now this limo is, it's a limo scene between Miranda and Andy, and they're both sitting there. And Miranda tells Andy that she always knew. Here's the denouement. She tells Andy she always knew that they were going to replace her. She always knew about the conspiracy to get rid of her. She knew about it the whole time. Okay? And she's the one that manipulated Jacqueline, okay, to take the job with James Holt for his company. She's the one that manipulated all that to happen. Okay? And she's also the one that strong-armed Irv, her boss, by telling him that no one at Runway can do what she can do. She says, there's no one at Runway that can do what I can do. Okay? And anyone who would have tried would have failed, and the magazine would have suffered. So in her own twisted logic, she's helping the magazine. By keeping herself there, she's helping the magazine. Because if she leaves, the magazine's going to go to shit. Okay? She estimates her own importance of the magazine. She is the magazine. If I don't get my way, the magazine's going to suffer. Okay, see what I mean? That's her level of arrogance. All right? You know, and Miranda tells Andy that, you know, what really swung everything to my favor was my list. So now she's spilling the beans to Andy about how her mind works and what she's doing. Okay, she tells Andy that she presented Irv with a list, a very special list. Okay, it's a list of all the best designers, photographers, models, editors, writers, all of whom, the best in the industry, all of whom are loyal to Miranda Priestley. Absolutely and completely loyal to her. They will follow her anywhere. See what I mean? In other words, Irv, you can't afford to lose me. I will leave you. If you kick me out, I will start my own magazine, and all the writers, all the editors, all the models, all the fashion designers, okay, they're all going to come with me. You're not going to be able to have, you're not going to be able to sell shit. Okay? So to help you out, I'm willing to forget about this whole you're going to replace me thing, and you're going to give me more money, and you're going to think twice or three times before you decide to try to do this to me again. That's how it's done. That's exactly how it's done. Like I said before, this movie's all about the dark side of capitalism. You have to prove your worth. Okay? That's the only way you will ever have any sort of leverage in a corporation, is you have to convince the higher ups, okay, that you are not replaceable. Okay? That's what actors do. That's what writers do. Okay? That's what media influencers do. You can't replace me. There's only one me. So if you want me, you're going to have to pay. Pay me as if there's only one me. You see what I mean? And that's the truth. That's the truth. So she played it right. Now, from a moral point of view, is this correct? I mean, there's no good guys in this movie. There's nobody good here. Okay? Maybe Nigel is, okay? But there's really no good guys in this movie. Okay? It's a piece of shit corporation trying to treat one of their employees like a piece of shit. So she acts like a piece of shit and tells them, I'm going to make shit a lot worse for you if you don't give me what I want. And so they capitulate. Not out of loyalty, but out of the simple numbers. It's all about money. I can't afford to lose the millions and millions and millions of dollars I'm going to lose if I lose you. So I'm going to keep you on. You know, it's a form of blackmail, but it's true. That's how it's done in the corporate world. You know, very Machiavellian. So that's going on here, you know, okay. And, you know, which I thought this was a very good scene. You know, and then found it and nurtured her. And she says that all these photographers, models, writers, editors, okay, designers, all of these, the reason they're loyal to her is because she's the one that found them. She discovered them. She molded them. Okay, she nurtured them. Okay, so of course their loyalty is to her. They understand that they wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for her. So they owe her. That's how it's done. That's how you take over. You influence. You go in there like a snake. You start building relationships, okay? This is 4D chess. This is Game of Thrones. This is all that stuff, okay? You go in there, you start forming relationships with a long term, with a plan in mind for the long term. You're playing the long game here. Like Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars. He didn't just show up as the Emperor. No, he started off as a lowly senator, and he started influencing people and bribing people and developing loyalties from people, from other senators, like from other politicians, from other corporations, okay? He slowly but surely started forming his own alliances. So when the time came for him to take over, he already had everybody there, and nobody realized it until it was too late. That's how it's done. Nobody realized how powerful Miranda was until the higher ups tried to take her down. Once they tried to take her down, they realized she couldn't be taken down. She already controlled the infrastructure. The virus has already taken over the whole system here, okay? You can't take it down without destroying the whole system. You see what I mean? This is how it's done. 4D chess, okay? Miranda does give Andy a compliment, though. She tells her, I am very impressed by how hard you tried to warn me, though. You know what, Andy? I see a lot of myself in you, which Andy does not take as a compliment. You can see beyond what people want and need, and you can choose for yourself. Andy's just like, no, I don't think that's a good thing. I don't like that. I could never do what you did to Nigel. I could never do that. But Andy, you already did. She's like, you did it to Emily. No, I didn't have a choice. You threatened to blacklist me from publishing industry. No. You always had a choice, Andy. You chose to get ahead. And if you want this life, those choices are necessary. But what if I don't want to live the way that you live? Don't be ridiculous. Everybody wants to be us. And Andy's like, at no point is she thinking about her boyfriend back in New York. She only gives a shit about her gay best friend and her fucking co-worker Emily, who got hit by a fucking taxi and is in a hospital right now, who she fucked over to get the Paris job. All right, so finally the limo comes to a halt in front of some museum. Miranda exits the limo and walks up. There's paparazzi there, all taking pictures. She's walking up these stairs. Andy, on the other hand, she gets out of the limo, and she just looks at Miranda in her her fur coat and her bag and her gloves and her sunglasses, getting all this attention from the media, and she just looks. And she just decides to turn around and walk away. So she decides that she doesn't want this life. No, she still wants to be a bitch. She still wants to be a cutthroat person. She still wants to be a rat. She just doesn't want to do it working for Miranda. Okay? She'd rather find a company where her supervisor is not as strong-willed, as more easily manipulated. You see what I mean? Okay, so she walks away, and that's supposed to be a good thing in this movie. Okay, so she walks away, and there's this fountain, some famous fountain in Paris. They show them in all the movies. When they show Paris, they show the Eiffel Tower, then they show this water fountain. I don't know what the fuck it's called. I've never been to Paris. Okay, anyway, she walks in front of that water fountain, and she takes her, and obviously Miranda's blowing up her phone. She's wondering, where the hell are you? You're supposed to be right behind me. She's confused, and Andy just takes the phone and throws it in the fucking water fountain and keeps walking away from this life. Okay, I'm gonna stop my review here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of Devil Wears Prada. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.